Yo, what's good, guys? So today we're going to talk about the biggest mistakes that rappers make, and we're going to do a little tier list, right? We're going to rank it all. S tier, this is like mistakes that you do not want to make, bro. D tier, it's like, hey, whatever, you can make it if you want, but it is definitely still a mistake. So yeah, the first mistake that we have here is making an album if you have zero fans, or if you're like very early on in your career. I've talked about this a decent amount, so I'm not going to go that into it, but I would say that this is definitely a mistake because, you're putting so much time into something that more than likely nobody will hear. So I'm going to put it in like B tier. Don't do this shit. Don't make an album if you have nothing. I do think there is bigger mistakes here on this tier list. So yeah, the next mistake is using YouTube type beats and then never paying the producer or never buying a lease, anything along those lines, right? So I'm not gonna lie, bro, I think that this is an S tier mistake, and there's a few reasons why. Number one, you will get taken down eventually, right? The song will get taken down. Number two, I feel like a lot of people think that it is this like crazy legal process to get a song taken down, but it really isn't. Like, if you're a producer, it is extremely easy to take songs down. So don't steal beats, pay the producer. It will save you such a hassle, like dead ass. So pay your producer, bro. For the next mistake, we have having a super insane rollout plan if you are just coming up and you don't have a lot of traction or motion or whatever. Once again, it's not one of the craziest. Honestly, I feel like this is probably an A tier mistake, and I'm gonna put it here because there is a slimmer of a chance that the rollout does work, right? But most of the time, it's just a waste of money. It's a waste of time, it's a waste of energy, and yeah, like if you have no fan base, don't focus on rollouts, just drop music. Now we have being on SoundCloud only. So this one is a little bit interesting because I feel like it kind of fits in S tier but also D tier. I'm gonna put it in A tier just because if you were on SoundCloud only, you are like shooting yourself in the foot, right? There's probably a lot of people that want to listen to you on Spotify or Apple Music or whatever platform. So you're shooting yourself in the foot. You're missing out on money. You're missing out on streams. You're missing out on traction, clout. So I'm gonna put it A tier. If you're watching this and you're just on SoundCloud, I'd recommend getting your shit up on other platforms immediately. Next up, we have hearing advice and immediately just running with it. The thing is, online, I'm not gonna lie, bro, there is a lot of shitty advice for underground rappers. Please, think before you act. Think before you do some of the shit that people online say. And even for my videos, bro, dead ass, the stuff that I say is not a one size fits all thing, right? For you, it might be different, right? If you have a super different sound, some of my advice will not work, right? So whenever you hear something, make sure to think it through, make sure that it works for you, make sure that it makes sense. I'm gonna put this in S tier just because, bro, there are so many people that hear shitty advice, they just run with it. And also, this is kind of off topic, but all advice that is 2 years old, don't listen to it. More than likely, it's shitty advice, so I'd just be safe. 2-year-old advice in the current underground probably will not work. Next up, we have spending time in extremely negative music spaces, right? For example, if you go on Reddit and you even mention that you want to blow up in the underground or you want to blow up in music, there will be literally 15 chuds in the comment section talking about it's all luck, talking about it's all connections, talking about it's over, talking about give up, whatever. Do not spend time in these places, bro. I'm telling you, it's literally like an echo chamber. Don't do it. Easily S tier mistake. Let's keep going. Now we have being cheap, and this is definitely a lower level mistake, but it can still definitely bite you in the ass because look, you're probably gonna have to spend money at some point in your music journey, whether it's on a microphone, whether it's on leases for a beat. If you ever want a manager, then you're gonna have to give up some splits, so you're gonna have to be okay with spending a little bit of money. But like I said, it is definitely a lower tier mistake, so I'll put it in C tier because look, there are some people that they don't spend shit until they start having some motion and then they start spending. But I'm still gonna put it in C tier. I don't think it's a D tier thing because you do need some leases. You do need a few things that are definitely crucial. So yeah, bro. Now we have having music that does not sound good on phone speakers. Now I know this might kind of sound like a shock, right? Because of course you do not want to mix for phone speakers. You want to mix for AirPods, you want to mix for headphones. But we are living in the short form content generation. That's how people promote music. Your stuff has to sound at least passable on phone speakers. It doesn't even have to sound great, it just can't sound destroyed. So you want your music to sound okay on phone speakers so it can go on TikTok and Instagram and all that. So I'm gonna put it in B tier. Since social media is super important to having music that goes up, I'm gonna put it in B tier because, hey. Next up, we have doing everything based on vibes only. Now, this is definitely a mistake, but I'm not gonna lie, I'm open-minded to intuition and manifestation and stuff like that. So I'm not gonna put it in S tier. I'll put it in, I'm gonna put it in the middle of S and A. I will say though, just doing things with no guidance at all, doing things where you're just guessing is definitely not the move, but trust your intuition, right? The thing is though, you can't trust your intuition 100% of the time, and for this next one, I have a little story, right? Basically, I have these two songs and I am not really fond of them. I really don't like them. Basically, I want these songs wiped off the fucking internet, but people seem to really like those songs. If I trusted my intuition and I didn't upload them or I deleted them right after, I would not have two big songs. So here's the thing, there's a lot of people out there where they drop music and right after they drop a song or a tape or whatever, they delete it. And this is definitely an A or S tier thing because you're going to be stuck in this loop of it's not good enough, it has to be perfect, I should have done this, I should have done that. It never ends though, that's the thing, it literally never ends. So, take my experience of having two songs that I really don't like and, just let shit ride, right? I am going to put this one in S tier, by the way, because I was thinking a little bit and, doing this shit, it can definitely lead to obsession and overthinking and trying to perfect stuff. So I'm going to put it in S tier. This is definitely a really bad mistake. And lastly, we have this saying right here, which I am going to change a little bit. My saying is don't compare your year 1 or month 1 to somebody else's year 5 or year 10. Don't do it. But I'm not going to put this in S or A tier because I do believe that if you compare yourself to people, it can definitely be kind of motivating. I've definitely compared myself to people and, I improved because of it. I think it kind of depends on what type of person you are. If you're able to be motivated by somebody else's success, then, compare yourself to them. It doesn't matter. So I'm going to put this in B tier. Okay, guys, so this is the full finished tier list and I'm sitting here. I'm trying to think if I want to move anything and really, I don't think I want to. Everything up here, this is the stuff that could potentially ruin your whole career. This stuff down here, it's more just stuff that could hurt you. And then, yeah, bro, this is my full finished tier list. So yeah, if you're super serious about going up in the underground, I have a private community and in there, I'm documenting my entire come up in the underground so you can copy me one-to-one or take inspiration. I really don't care. You can also talk to me one-on-one in there. You can ask me questions, everything like that. It's literally cheaper than a Geek Bar and I'm not gonna lie, I feel like it is definitely the better investment. Also, if you want to potentially be in a video, follow me on Instagram because whenever I need people for videos, that's where I let people know on my story. I'll see you guys later. Peace.